can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So, a good performance from both.
Hi, welcome to First Sports. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, the hot topic is Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Calls to fast-track the teenage sensation to the national side are intensifying, but is he ready for the spotlight and the responsibility that come with playing for the country? And what lesson has Prithvi Shaw, another young talent, taught him? India plays Singapore in a must-win AFC qualifier tomorrow, but guess what? Sunil Chhetri has been recalled once more. Is this the best route to take? What is the one thing Indian football is failing to let go of? And Morocco continues to be a hotbed of activity as demonstrations rage on, with people taking to the streets to protest the government pumping in money towards the 2030 FIFA World Cup. Is the AFCON in threat? What's at stake for the football-loving country that's battling hate now? But first, the headlines on Sports 360. We'll start with cricket and Women's World Cup. Four-time champions England escaped a scare against a feisty Bangladesh outfit. They managed a 4-wicket win in a low-scoring thriller. Put into bat first, Bangladesh posted 178. Sophie Eccleston picked up 3 wickets. In response, Fahima Khatun kept Bangladesh in the hunt by picking up 3 crucial wickets. It was Heather Knight's gritty 79, though, that saw England chase down the target in 46 overs. Moving to tennis, former world number 1 Novak Djokovic has entered the quarterfinals of the Shanghai Masters. The Serb vomited, collapsed, even took a medical break, but eventually beat Jaume Munar. The Spaniard gave Djokovic a tough fight by winning the second set, but the 24-time Grand Slam winner held his nerve to win the round of 16 clash, 6-3, 5-7, 6-2. On to football, Portuguese star Cristiano Ronaldo has become the first billionaire footballer. Reports say the Al Nassr captain's fortunes has reached $1.4 billion. This after the Saudi club offered him a contract extension and reportedly one of the highest salaries in football world earlier this year. In news from rugby, top national unions have warned their players against joining rebel R360 competition. Backed by private investors and 2003 Rugby World Cup winner Mike Tindall, R360 is expected to attract top stars. Rugby bodies in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Ireland, England, Scotland, France and Italy have threatened their players of non-selection if they join the league. And summing it up with the UFC's seasoned fighter Conor McGregor has accepted an 18-month ban for violating sports anti-doping policy. The Irishman is guilty of missing sample collection thrice in the last 1 year. McGregor's suspension, which started in September 2024, will end by the 20th of March 2026. He hasn't competed since he injured his leg in July 2021. India is entering a new era in cricket, one led by Shubman Gill, the face of a new generation, a new captain, a fresh mindset and a growing demand to back young blood. And in that mix, one name is making all the noise, IPL teenage sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi. But just as the cheers for Suryavanshi get louder, India's once upon a time prodigious talent, Prithvi Shaw, is reminding us of a very uncomfortable truth. That talent alone doesn't make a cricketer ready for India and stay in India colours. Ever since the IPL 2025 season ended, Vaibhav Suryavanshi has been the name on everyone's lips. His fearless batting in the youth ODIs against Australia, pure box office. At just 14 years of age, he's being hailed as the wonder kid, the future of Indian cricket. Calls are growing louder. Fast track him, send him to India A, or better yet, hand him the India jersey already. This talent needs a place in the national side. But hold on, we've heard this before, haven't we? A young talent, a record-breaking start, a nation getting carried away. The story has a familiar ring to it, going by the name Prithvi Shaw. Because after all that came the fall. So sharp, we pretended we never saw it coming. Shaw was India's next big thing, an under-19 World Cup winning captain, an IPL sensation, youngest Indian test centurion. But today, he's in the news for all the wrong reasons. Not his runs, but his rage, disciplinary issues, clashes with team management, off-field controversies. And now an ugly brawl with a former teammate that once again overshadows his cricket. Using his bat there as a weapon on the cricket ground. Ironically, he scored 181 while playing for Maharashtra against his former team Mumbai in a pre-season practice match. But who's talking about that? That's how quickly brilliance turns into burden. Talent gets you attention, but temperament, composure and discipline, that's what keeps you there. And that's where Shaw lost the plot. The truth is, performance alone doesn't make you ready for India, because playing for India isn't just about cricket. It's about your character. Every match is a headline, every failure a trending topic, every celebration a statement. And that's where the real battle starts. Not between bat and ball, but between fame and focus. Let's not forget Shubman Gill was part of the same under-19 team that Shaw led to glory in 2018. One went off the rails, the other, well, he's captain. Gill didn't demand attention, he earned it. He didn't rush the system, he built through it. And today, he's not just a mainstay, he's leading India in 2 formats. That's the difference between momentary brilliance and sustained excellence. Now, let's come back to Suryavanshi, because even before his debut, there were red flags. In a recent youth test versus Australia, he was involved in a heated argument with the umpire. And after a golden duck in the second innings, social media went into overdrive, criticizing his fitness, his attitude, his lack of maturity. That's the reality of modern cricket, instant fame and an even more instant backlash. Even Sachin Tendulkar, when he debuted at 16, didn't face this level of scrutiny and this pressure 24/7. The world has changed, and so must everyone's approach. Because this is not just about Suryavanshi, it's about how India treats its talent. How many names do we remember with the same story? Prithvi Shaw, Unmukh Chand, Manish Pandey, each one hyped too soon, handled too little. We glorify potential but forget preparation. We worship talent but neglect the temperament that is required behind it all. It's time Indian cricket found balance. Promote youth, yes, but protect them as well. We don't need instant heroes, we need sustainable performers. This is where mentors matter. The Dravids, the Dhonis and Rohits, the ones who've seen it all themselves, because a young player's first challenge isn't international cricket, it's handling the success. And without guidance, the same success can destroy them. Vaibhav Suryavanshi could become the next big story of Indian cricket, but he could also become its next big lesson if we don't handle him right. He's got the shots, the skill and the spark, even dogged determination. During the same Australia tour, Vaibhav urgently called his childhood coach at 5 a.m. in the morning because he was struggling with the floodlights at the venue. That's how dedicated he is. All he now needs is time, space, and of course discipline to match all of that. And maybe the real success story won't be about how early he plays for India, but how long he manages to stay there. India is just a fortnight away from the Singapore challenge in the AFC Asian Cup Qualifiers. While the focus is on the next step in the nation's footballing journey, one name has once again taken centre stage, and that's veteran Sunil Chhetri. The heartbeat of Indian football for over decades. He's back in the 23-man squad. The question, though, is when things were working well under a young and fearless lineup, why go back to the old approach? Will Chhetri's return ignite India's charge or interrupt the momentum? On one hand, there's no denying Chhetri's legacy. He commands instant respect. He's carried Indian football on his shoulders through its highs, lows and rebuilding phases. He's a born leader, a motivator and a symbol of dedication and discipline. And let's not forget, he's the 4th highest active goal scorer in international football. That's not a stat, it's a statement. Having him back in the squad is a dream for any coach, for any squad. But the bigger, tougher question is, for how long will Indian football keep turning to Chhetri? Because for the first time in nearly 20 years, India had started to move beyond one man. In however brief time it's been, under Khalid Jamil, the national side showed signs of a genuine transformation, one that relied on pace, teamwork and tactical discipline rather than one talismanic figure alone. After years of heartbreak and inconsistency, the CAFA Nations Cup was a breath of fresh air. A third-place finish, only one loss. Wins against higher-ranked teams and, most importantly, a belief that the next generation belongs on the pitch. Every player took ownership. They didn't wait for anyone to carry them. They created their own chances, their own identity. So now, when that rhythm was beginning to click, why go back to what we've already moved on from? Because here's what history tells us. Every time India takes one bold step forward with its young, hungry lineup, we somehow take 2 cautious ones back with nostalgia. We celebrate youth, but we don't trust it enough. The match against Singapore tomorrow is a do-or-die one. A loss and India's chances for the Asian Cup, that's done and dusted. And that's where the real debate begins. Is Chhetri's recall a tactical one or a defensive move? A sign of pressure on the management to play it safe? In cricket, veterans recalled just for one last series. In hockey, legends brought back before a big tournament. And in every case, it's the same instinct. When in doubt, go back to the familiar, the tried and tested. Ranked 134, Indian football right now isn't chasing immediate titles. It's chasing a sustainable system. It's at a building point. This is a team still learning to dream big, and now is when faith in the process matters more than faith in the past. And that's why this decision is so crucial. Experience is priceless, no doubt, but progress depends on transition. Remember Japan in the early 2000s. They phased out their golden generation, allowing youth and experience to coexist. That's how they built the balance that made them a World Cup regular. Even South Korea did the same after 2002, blending old legs with new energy. But when you depend too heavily on one figure, it is bound to backfire. Just look at Manchester United, a club that built everything around one man, Alex Ferguson. When he left, the entire system collapsed. The same risk applies here. India needs to learn from those lessons behind them. Use Chhetri as a mentor, as a tactical leader, not the plan A. Because if the future of Indian football continues to orbit around one man's boots, what really will happen when those boots have to finally be hung up? It's time Indian football stops being more about nostalgia and starts being about vision. Sunil Chhetri's return can be powerful if it is purposeful. Let him inspire, guide and mentor, not overshadow the very players who are meant to take the baton forward. Because the bigger dream isn't about winning this qualifier, it's about ensuring the next generation stays there consistently. Right now, one thing's guaranteed: Chhetri's presence will bring passion, unity and headlines. But the real victory won't be a win against Singapore. It'll be in proving that Indian football can grow beyond its greatest icon. Because legends can win you matches, but systems, belief and courage to evolve, those are the things that win you a future. Morocco has been sieged by protests on the streets. Hordes of people are demanding answers from the government, who they believe are spending an obscene amount of money on a World Cup that is still some years away. All of it when their own people are still struggling for basic needs. There is tension, there is chaos, and hence questions are being raised on whether the AFCON, African Cup of Nations, that is set to take place in December, will go ahead without a glitch. Officials are confident things will be under control by that time and the tournament will not be affected. But this isn't just about the logistics. The very passion for the sport is under threat in Morocco. Our next report dives deep.
Morocco's heroes in 2022 were the football team, a bunch that fought hard. They reached the semi-final for the very first time, becoming the first African country to do so. They were the pride of the nation. This is Morocco today. There are protests rocking many of their cities, and subject to fire is the very thing that they celebrated only a few years ago. The sport that they've been most passionate about is what's at the core of their anger and indignation. The government has been busy pumping in millions of dollars into a stadium for the 2030 World Cup. The fury now is not just about the lack of prioritization, but also football itself.
We don't want football or anything else. If football had been good for us, it would have been introduced long ago and would have benefited young people. We want health. Our parents are suffering.
The immediate challenge is conducting the prestigious AFCON tournament without a hitch, even though it is some months away.
We are absolutely confident that CAF will cooperate and work with the government and the entire Moroccan people to deliver the most successful Africa Cup of Nations in the history of this competition.
What everyone is forgetting is that this unrest won't go away until there are definite decisions taken and concerns addressed. When asked whether there might be alternate plans, on whether authorities could consider different options if the situation in Morocco did not improve, the president seemed very confident.
Our position is very clear. Morocco is plan A, Morocco is plan B, Morocco is plan C.
Morocco has also been one of the most successful footballing countries in Africa. They've won CAF continental titles and the African Nations Championships. The AFCON has eluded them for years now, something they would love to get their hands on in front of their own people. But with the sentiment against the government and their quest towards football only souring, things seem to be on the boil for Morocco and its footballing dream. What's given this movement impetus, unfortunately, has been the support of footballers in the national side. Sofiane Amrabat and Yassine Bounou, who have endorsed the demonstrations via social media to turn the tide and quell the anger of people, asking for basic needs to be met first, will be one of the biggest challenge Moroccan authorities face today. A task that seems near impossible.
Time for Last Serve. The world of water sports just got louder and faster. After thrilling audiences across North America, Asia and Europe, the E1 World Championship, world's first electric powerboat racing series, has made a historic debut in Africa. Lagos turned into a spectacle of speed and sustainability, proof that Africa is ready to power into the new age of sport and technology. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.